The best VR headsets are a good way to portal to another world, or at least spend the night in another world without leaving home. The best virtual reality headsets are the highest quality, most comfortable, and easiest to use. They are also least likely to cause vomiting. We tested dozens of VR headsets such as Valve, Oculus, HTC, HP, Samsung, and found the best headset. While 4,444 PC gamers once preferred tethered VR headsets, the market has changed radically with the release of the standalone Meta Quest 2, which can be tethered to a PC if needed. For just $299 for a truly amazing experience, it's impossible for up-and-coming VR gamers to ignore. There are certainly places for premium VR headsets, but they should be special or the price should be quite obscuring the features. Once you have one of the best VR headsets, the next step is to find the best VR game. Half-Life Alyx shows VR features, but it puts a lot of strain on your PC. There are many other sci-fi titles that aren't too intense. Be No Man's Sky if you're short on ideas. Check out the best VR games on your PC, whatever you want to play. It's a great opportunity to immerse yourself in virtual reality. Meta Quest 2. Meta Quest 2, formerly Oculus Quest 2, improves on the original Quest spec sheet and offers it at a lower price. With a new 1832x1920 LCD Pri, the Quest 2 offers exceptional clarity at the price of an entry-level headset, but far beyond that. First of all, this is the same headset as the Oculus Quest 2. Meta owns Oculus and has adopted the Oculus brand due to a major branding of Facebook. Meta Quest 2 is listed in several places today, but the same Oculus brand continues to perform well elsewhere. Who can tell why Meta decided to change? I personally like Oculus because of its value. The Quest 2 is more than a standalone VR headset with Oculus Link. You can play games specifically designed for the standalone headset and render them on the onboard Snapdragon 2X chip or stream them from your PC using a USB Type-C cable compatible with Oculus Link. Very expensive, but I use the official Oculus Link cable. You can certainly use cheaper cables, but keep in mind that some cables don't offer as long bandwidth or performance as expensive cables. This can be a bit of a problem, but it's not always the case. The Quest 2 is more than a standalone VR headset with Oculus Link. This is a title compatible with Steamer and Oculus Rift, making it an all-in-one VR Swiss Army knife that can provide great VR and games on the go. Thanks to a recent update, refresh rates up to 120 Hz are possible, making the product even more attractive. Technically, you can choose from two storage options, 256 GB and 128 GB. However, there is also a 64 GB model. This was a cheaper storage option when the 64 GB model was launched. Meta has replaced it with a 256 GB model for the same price. So I wouldn't recommend buying a 64 GB model unless it's much cheaper than the RRP. I've tested a unit with a small space out of 3, and even if the space is significantly smaller, it's okay to install a decent catalog of VR games, experiences, and apps halfway. The Quest 2 is one of the fastest to launch and run a headset on this list. With built-in inside-out tracking and hand tracking, you can unpack and run in VR in just minutes. For the first setup, remove the headset, remember your Wi-Fi password, replace the headset, and wait for some updates. It's a bit annoying, but you only have to do it once and it's relatively quick. Valve Index. The Valve Index has a screen resolution comparable to the Vive Pro, Quest, and Odyssey Plus, but with a refresh rate of 120 Hz up to 144 Hz if not currently supported. Experimental mode. In addition, the FOV is 130, which is the best in its class, and there is virtually no identifiable screen door effect in the headset. Does everything sound good? Yes, Valve Index is a pioneer in VR headsets. If the spec list isn't enough, the Valve Index feels great. It's a bit heavier than the Rift S, but it's heavier than the head-to-head comparison, with the shape of the head and allows it to be better distributed around the head. Needless to say, it is made from carefully selected high-quality materials with best-in-class weight distribution. The strap material is also luxurious and looks like a very soft t-shirt padded than a standard foam pad, so you won't have to worry about it during a long gaming session. But most importantly, the Index is comfortable because it delivers audio. The integrated near-field speakers float right next to your ears and are driven by the speaker driver, not what you would normally find in headphones. In short, Index speakers provide excellent 3D surround sound and also provide some acoustic isolation without being completely isolated from external noise. Since there is no pressure on your ears, you will feel less tired when using VR for a long time, and the rest of the room will not bleed. Finger tracking is one of Valve Index's outstanding features, but there aren't many impressive implementations yet. The best use so far is a tech demo of Aperture Hand Labs opens in a new tab. Here you'll use a collection of whimsical Portal-style robots to wave, high-five, and play rock, paper, scissors. Previous touch controllers could only express grip clearly, but Index controllers allowed thumbs up, finger guns, and Balkan salutes. Currently, not many games use finger tracking, so outside of Aperture Hand Labs and Half-Life Alyx, this feature can feel a bit gimmick. Still, there are plenty of future game possibilities. HTC Vive Pro 2. The HTC Vive Pro 2 has brought many updates to the front of the display, making it one of the most impressive mainstream options. The native resolution of 2448 x 2448 pixels per eye is incredible, and the combination of a 120Hz refresh rate and a 120-degree field of view makes it one of the best viewing experiences. The Vive Pro 2 is one of the highest resolution mainstream headsets you can spend money on, with clear advantages over the Quest 2 for 3664 x 1920. This is great for high-fidelity games, but upgrades with more cartoon titles are less obvious. This means that you need very high-resolution textures and models to actually use this headset. There is no obvious screen door effect. At this resolution, it feels like the hardware side of VR has been resolved. Of course, these resolutions require high-end devices to get the most out of this headset. HTC recommends NVIDIA GeForce RTX 20 series or Radeon RX 5000 series GPUs for a smooth experience. For testing, I connected the headset to a high-end test PC. This PC has a GeForce RTX 3080 opens in a new tab and an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X opens in a new tab. I had no problems running the game with this setting, but yes, it's right there in terms of specs. This is a very connected experience. The cables that connect to your PC are generous, but they can get in the way and pull you away from the virtual world. If you like wireless gaming, the headset is compatible with the HTC Vive wireless adapter, but with an additional charge of $359 and a refresh rate limited to 90 Hz. This is not always ideal. It gets hot after a while, but the headset itself is comfortable to wear. There is enough foam pad to ensure comfort, but it also acts as insulation. It's not the lightest headset, but it's so well balanced that it doesn't feel heavy. Summarize check plug grammar. HP Reverb G2. The HP Reverb G2 was chosen as one of the best VR headsets here, especially because of its amazing resolution. If your primary concern is to ensure your setup in the future in terms of image fidelity, don't be disappointed. At 2160 pixels per eye, the Reverb G2 completely mitigates the screen door effect that can cause problems with some low-resolution headsets. However, if you have a GPU powerful enough to handle it. However, if you exceed your hardware limits, you can relatively easily reduce the resolution per eye. And even if you're playing games in low resolution, you can still benefit from great features such as the highly integrated physical IPD switcher at the bottom of the headset. Its range is impressive compared to other options on the market. However, it's a bit disappointing to use a standard mixed reality controller with it. It runs on a battery for quick juice changes, but abandons many of the more advanced features found in other designs, such as the Valve Index finger tracking knuckle controller. The Reverb G2 tracking solution means no base station is needed. That said, it's easy to set up, but it also has some drawbacks. Visible light tracking means that the level of ambient light can actually affect your experience. Headsets rely on very specific lighting requirements to be properly placed in physical space, so don't expect them to work particularly well in greenhouses or in the dark. The hand tracking is a bit limited without a base station, but HP counters this with a great IMU gyro sensor that predicts out-of-track movement as long as it's fluid movement. Holding hands is still another story, but it shouldn't make a difference in most situations in the game. As long as you don't bring the controller too close to your face, you can land a stable sniper shot even when you are prone. Well, there you have it. These are the most innovative products of 2022. We hope you like it. Find new and interesting technology items that can make your life easier as this video comes to an end. We hope you liked this video. Make sure to leave down your comments to let us know what you think about these. And as always, thanks for watching.